And welcome back to Thunder Insider from downtown Chicago. The Thunder hit the road this week, and we are bringing you the show from here at Geno's East. And we are looking forward to some deep dish pizza. But work first, guys. The team has a lot of work to do this week. They are playing 6 back-to-backs in the next month, 6 of the 15 they play this season. It's difficult to play one back-to-back, Brian. How do they have to handle the challenges, especially one where they were home and then they leave to go on the road?
We talk about this all the time, Leslie, and it comes down, guys, to routine. And the Thunder, whether it is a single game, game day, off day practice, whatever it might be, the routine never changes. And so I think that there is something to be said for that.
And they have 2 back-to-backs just this week alone. As a player, Grant, how difficult is it to be prepared for each one of those games?
Here's what you have to understand from the player standpoint. This commitment is made from the first day of training camp that you're going to have the back-to-back games. That's just what the schedule is going to predict. You get yourself geared for it, you commit yourself to it during training camp, and you all of a sudden you get out on the road and you honor that commitment with your teammates and your coaches, and you understand when you get into training camp you expect to be playing sometime in June.
So all the discussion about how difficult these back-to-back games are overrated?
I wouldn't say that, but I would say the versatility on this team helps Scott Brooks a lot because there are different lineups he can utilize. He can minimize minutes depending on how the games are unfolding, whether the first night or the second night. And I think the fact that this team can adapt to playing physical basketball or more finesse basketball, given the roster depth that they have, makes a big difference.
It's not just about being physically prepared. It's also about being mentally focused for each one of these games. Nick Gallo caught up with the team this week to talk about how they do that.
Over the years, the Thunder has been very successful on both the first and second nights of back-to-backs. The mental and physical approach that the team takes is consistent from night to night, and that's why the team's been able to be so successful in these situations.
I mean, everybody goes through it. It's part of the schedule. You have to be able to manage it, and we've done a good job with back-to-backs. But you have to come out and play. You got to play hard, and you got to play together, and you have to do it for 48 minutes as much as you can.
Energy, finding the energy.
If you think about a back-to-back, you think you're tired, then you're going to be tired. So our group does a great job of not making no excuses, no matter who we playing. On a back-to-back, we just go out there and play the game, and we have some good results.
You're traveling. I think you get as much rest as possible. And I think, in that city, getting a kind of a late breakfast brunch and, mental note, a mental therapy of, the team and the opponent in front of you and, getting prepared for the next challenge. And then, collectively, your disposition just, all being on the same page, going out there and collectively getting that win.
Well, just forgetting about the game before, the day before, and just totally erasing that out of your mind. And
that mental approach and attitude isn't just used by the Thunder in back-to-back situations, but consistently every single night. For Thunder Insider, I'm Nick Gallo.
Well, as you heard, the guys know how to prepare for these games, but I don't think a lot of fans out there know exactly what happens in the course of a week like this, that the team leaves right after they play a game like they did against Dallas. You get here late at night. Maybe you don't have shoot-around on a back-to-back, but the late nights that you go through and having to be physically prepared, it can be a little grueling for the team. How did you stay focused as a player?
Here's the thing, though. After a game, you have to understand whether it's a travel game or not. Players are going to be up unwinding till about 12 or 1 o'clock, 2 or 3 hours after the game anyway. So that travel that's incorporated right after a home game, I don't believe it bothers a player so much so because, like I said, they're going to be up anyway. And I said earlier, you commit yourself to all of the things that go into a season. That is the traveling, that is the late nights, and that is eating late at night and all of these other things, getting up early in the morning to make a practice or a shoot-around before the game. All of those things, that commitment is made earlier in the season, and I think players just go with the flow of it and don't try to disrupt that or complain about it.
What the biggest thing is that I've been told by players is the recovery, how necessary that is. There are so many elements in place so that stays in place for this team, and they're able to tap into that so that it's mental and physical, but they've got every element around them and a support structure in this organization that enables them to be at their best, even in back-to-back scenarios.
There are a couple of trips that are particularly difficult. If you're going West Coast to Denver, for instance, it's a long way from the airport. You're losing an hour. You get to the hotel 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Toronto, same way. A tough back-to-back for the Thunder, Cleveland and Toronto, because you have to go through customs, and it's also probably the farthest trip from airport to hotel in the league.
It is an interesting thing to see how these guys deal with it. Well, one guy that's new to the team that's kind of getting his feet wet with the Thunder is Mustafa Shakur. He was just signed to a 10-day contract on Sunday. 6'3", 190 pounds. He's played in 20 games, and of course, with Tulsa, he's averaged 18 points, almost 7 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 steals. So a very versatile player again. He spent time on the Thunder roster in 09-10, and he is here with the team this week. Well, coming back on Thunder Insider, we'll have more, including how these guys prepare on the road and get used to that difficult travel. Stick around as Thunder Insider continues from here in downtown Chicago.